Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're going to take a look at a tier list this time around for the new move updates. This is going to be a shorter one, like a little bit less in depth, but there are going to be more videos coming up where I go a little bit more into details for those move updates. Looked already at a lot of them as well, so definitely feel free to subscribe and leave a like if you haven't already, because it would help out the channel quite a lot. And we're going to start immediately based on how Niantic ordered them. I have it on the side here as well, so you can talk a little bit about it. Much step, first one, going to be an interesting, decent change for the upcoming season. Going to be most likely +1 energy. We don't really know this because Niantic doesn't really say it. We have a lot of tiers here because it's a lot to kind of look at. Next up, going to be the Mud Slap, mainly for example for Rhyperior. Rhyperior does make a lot of sense for this Pokemon. Otherwise, Mud Slap would be on something like a Gastron maybe, but Gastron is a water and ground type Pokemon. You have Quagsire, you have Wishcast, you have Swampert, you have literally 20,000 water and ground type Pokemon, so it's not really that needed. So, next one, going to be the Fire Spin, getting from 9 damage to 10 damage, which is now going to be a Magical Leaf clone, which is decent. It's not great, it is okay. It's going to make Marowak a little bit better, just a tiny bit. It's going to make Solgaleo a little bit better, just a tiny bit. It's going to make Heatran a little bit better, just a tiny bit. And it's going to be most likely a little bit better for the Kanto Ninetales over Ember now, so you don't need to use an Elite TM anymore for this one, so maybe something for you. And now, first one that's overpowered, Incinerate. Incinerate plus 5 damage. I looked at some calcs. Ho-Oh overpowered, Talonflame overpowered, and there are a lot of other Pokemon that like really got a huge buff with it. Skeledirge, insanely strong now. Like the what's called Chandelure can do something now. Especially the thing is, it gets plus 5 damage, but this is not all. Like most of the fire type Pokemon learn Flame Charge, like Litleo, like literally Talonflame, all those Pokemon, Rapidash, they all going to be able to even benefit basically twice with that, because you can buff the attack, which is going to allow this one to even function a little bit better there, so cool one there. Next one going to be Blaze Kick, which is going to get buffed, plus 5 damage from 55 power to 60 power, going to be 40 energy, 60 power. I think we have some moves like this as well. It's not Surf, it's a little bit weaker than Surf. It is a fun one, it's not like really that crazy, but it's decent. Next one going to be Breaking Swipe. Breaking Swipe getting a minus 50, like 50% chance, I think, like they don't say it directly here, so it's not longer guaranteed to get the attack drop, which I feel like is decent, okay. I feel like it's kind of sad because it was not needed. If Steelix did not get this move, it was not really needed, but it's a good change, I would say. It doesn't make it completely garbage, but it's more like, it's not really clear what you're gonna get at the end of the day. Next up, going to be Iron Tail. This is going to be in the depends category because we don't know the exact stats yet. Niantic said it goes from 9 damage to 10 damage, but the energy is so bad currently, and usually you always see like Niantic buffing stuff by 1 point, that it really depends. Like if it's just gonna get buffed by 1 point energy generation, it's going to be garbage. It has to be like something like 3 or 4 points of energy generation for this move to have any kind of play. So we have to wait. I cannot tell you right now what this is going to be because we saw it with Astonished, where everybody thinks, hey, great, Niantic buffed a move and it's going to be nice, but it was at the end of the day pretty damn garbage. Next move going to be Steel Wing. Steel Wing got buffed as well, getting +1 energy, most likely even +2, it would be overpowered, but I guess it's +1, which I suggested in a video yesterday, and I feel like this is a fun one for, or like a decent one actually, for the Skarmory, for anything else that doesn't have stab on it, and doesn't have the bulk of Skarmory, doesn't have the timing of Skarmory, it's not really needed, so it kind of needs a stab move for it to be decent. So it's a decent side grade though, like decent upgrade honestly for Skarmory right now. Definitely cool, Skarmory back in the meta, but it's not going to be as crazy. Next one going to be Astonished, finally getting buffed from 5 damage to 9 damage, and has I think 10 energy generation, being with that a little bit more damage than Hex and a little bit lower energy generation than Hex, making it around as strong as Hex. Like I looked at some calculations towards it as well. Again, I can take a look at those calculations on my own. Like I can upgrade P-Poke on my side, which is kind of cool. So they looked fairly decent. Like it's basically like Hex. Like it feels like Hex on the calculations. Some matchups you win, some matchups you lose because of the lower energy generation. But still, it's a decent move in general. It's not going to be overpowered. It's just decent, honestly. Like it's still usable now, at least for the first time. Next one going to be a great upgrade for this move in general. It's going to be Bubble. Bubble +1 damage. Take a look at Azumarill. Looks great. I also took a look at the Ludicolo, which is going to come up later on as well. Looks also solid now. +1 damage for Bubble. is kind of fine. It's still a mediocre move in general, but it's still definitely an upgrade that I like to see, and I think it's a decent one in general. Next Pokemon, or like next move update, going to be Scald. Scald gonna get an upgrade as well, going from 80 to 85 power plus a greater chance to lower the opponent's attack by 1 stage. It was 30% prior. I would imagine it goes to 50% now, so that's what I have my calculations and whatever also based on. And so I would say it's a good upgrade in general, making Scald a little bit better. Going to be increasing a lot of very decent Pokemon though, which you're going to take a look at different videos for sure. And then we're going to have Psychic getting up from 85. Like on my version on PvPoke it said 80 damage before, but like here it says 85, and I saw on Twitter as well that actually 85, maybe it was my mistake. But it goes down to 75, which is a good change as well. Still, Medicham going to be viable, just most likely not going to use Psychic anymore, but definitely Dynamic Punch. Like, Psychic is kind of dead in my opinion with this. There's no real reason to run Psychic, but still it's not going to go away with it. And so we're gonna move on to the move update. I kind of still want to go by order, so we're gonna go for the first one, which is going to be Wigglytuff. And Wigglytuff is definitely a great upgrade, going to get Icy Wind. Icy Wind going to make this Pokemon way, way better. It's not going to be overpowered or whatever, because you don't really get to that many moves anyway, but definitely going to be a great upgrade. Next Pokemon going to be the Poliwrath. Poliwrath is now really, really strong. I would put it like kind of low to overpowered, but like this Pokemon is insane, getting now both the buff of Scald plus also now Icy Wind, which is cool. Abomasnow is literally... Maybe I'm actually gonna go from the lower point till up, to be fair, because I think that's kind of ordered here. It's going to be a side grade with Icy Wind. I'm just gonna start from the bottom now, because I think it's based on this here. You're going to have Cryogonal getting Triple Excel. It's a side grade. It's fun, honestly. It's more like a fun... It's not even a side grade. It's an upgrade straight for this Pokemon, because it has before Aurora Beam. So I think that's a fun one to have. Frostless going to get access... I think it just randomized, to be fair. Frostless gonna get access to the move... what's called Triple Excel as well. Going to be a side grade for sure. Like you have Avalanche already, which is pretty strong. We're going to have Delibird, which is literally just fun for anything, because like it's going to get Triple Excel plus Fly. Like the Pokemon is fun. The Pokemon itself is trash, but like I would say the upgrade is kind of fun. Articuno. Again, Articuno has Icy Wind already, so like it's not going to be the craziest Pokemon either. I don't even see it here. There it is. It was actually up here. It's a side grade to Icy Wind. Like if you want to go pure ice, then you could definitely try to run this. But yeah, like it's not going to change too much for this Pokemon. You're going to get Palossand learning the fast attack Astonish, which is actually not even an upgrade because it already learned it before. So like, why Niantic? Like literally, it learned it before. Like I don't know why it is in the upgrade notes here, but good job there. We're gonna get the Shadow Ball onto the Toxicroak. It's a great upgrade. You basically lose your step charge moves with this one because you kind of still want to have Mud Bomb for just the fastest move to get to, and it's a very strong move in general. Plus, you're going to have very great coverage now against the Medicham winning this matchup thanks to Shadow Ball, so that's going to be fun, but it's not going to be the craziest one. I could even see that people are going to drop Shadow Ball over Sludge Bomb again, so we have to see, have to take a look about this. Vigoroth getting Rockslide. I have to kind of put this Pokemon very, very high here, because this Pokemon I kind of want to put into like low tier OP. Is great in like so many like basically what's called like limited metas already, and we're going to have like Holiday Cup again. Now it has better coverage as well. Like this Pokemon going to be also very strong in the main game, like main meta now as well. Having finally a good secondary charge move like this is going to be very strong. Now we're going to have some ones that are literally not impacted at all. Wailord getting Scald. I wouldn't even put it as a side grade. It has Surf already, and you kind of want to have the cheapest move forward. For the Wailmare, it is actually kind of a side grade because you have Body Slam instead, which I feel like is maybe, then you have like a lower tier charge move and then a little bit of a higher tier one, but for the Wailord, you definitely kind of don't want to have it. We're going to have Scald on the, what's called Quillfish. Again, just a side grade. Just gives you a different option over Awkward Tail, but Awkward Tail is usually preferred. We're going to have a Lombre, which I feel like is kind of fun. Like, I think that has some play even as an XL Pokemon in the Great League. We have the, what's called the Loadhead, which is actually very decent for like for something like Little Cup, so definitely something for this one for sure. We're going to have the Ludicolo Learning Scald, which is actually a decent upgrade. I like this one quite a bit. We're going to have Suicune Learning Scald, and this is actually a very good upgrade. I looked at the Ultra League. This Pokemon has now some very decent play, so I like this quite a bit. We're going to have Barboach, which might want to have this for the Little Cup, but usually Little Cup is more looking for like faster charge moves, so it also has Awkward here, so you don't really need it. And for the Wishcast, it's a decent upgrade as well. It doesn't make it overpowered. I looked at the calculations as well. It's not really that great. And for the other two Pokemon here, we can literally put them directly into trash because we don't really need them. But we have more Pokemon that learn Scald. We have the Politoed that learns Scald, but it already has Weather Ball as well as the Surf. So I'm fairly certain that you don't really want to use it, but it's still theoretically a side grade if you want to have it, but I feel like it's better to have Weather Ball, especially if you want to have either Blizzard or Ice Beam. On this Pokemon as well, we have the Galarian Slowbro, which already learns which learns Surf, and it's again just a side grade. For the other one, for Slowbro and yeah, the Slowking and whatever, like this one is maybe also side grade because they already still not having the same typing, but the other ones just wants, in my opinion at least, Surf most of the time, so I'm just going to put the Slowbros a little bit down there. Doesn't really make too much sense. We're going to have Waiko Volt learning Fly. Still not going to be the best Pokemon ever, and I would not really say it's a side grade. Like it is a little bit of an upgrade. Maybe it's even fun, who knows, but it's not going to be crazy good either. And we're going to have next up Talonflame Learnings Fly, and this Pokemon is literally busted now. Like I took a look at the Great League, I haven't taken a look at the Ultra League, but Great League already sold me completely on this. It basically beats most of the meta. And with this, and also with like something that you see here with the, what's called Poliwrath coming up again, you kind of most going to see an increase of Lantern again, which is kind of sad, but this is going to most likely happen here. But literally the best upgrade of them all, literally super overpowered. The Fletchinder is kind of interesting, has some fun potential, but it has Ember and it didn't really get buffed for it, so like Fletchinder is basically just a worse variant of the Talonflame. Has a little bit better stats, I think, but is generally a little bit worse. Fletchling, don't think that this Pokemon has anything to do anywhere, so I will put this a little bit down. Hisuian Braviary is still trash, the normal Braviary is still trash. Could depending on like how the Iron Steel Wing is going to be. I think definitely Braviary, like the normal one, going to learn that. For Rufflet, it learns actually Wing Attack, which is kind of cool. So this Pokemon would be a side grade now with Fly, but we already have Aerial Ace, which is just a little bit faster, but a little bit weaker. And then you have Brave Bird. So I actually would put it into decent because it's just a very strong move. Like Fly is just very strong, so I feel like it's a decent one for this one. Definitely solid there. Next one is going to be one that I kind of want to put into, like, it's low OP. Like, I love it. I just like this Pokemon so much. It's going to be Fly on Staraptor. Staraptor before was lacking a charge move that was fast and that was not debuffing yourself. It has now the same energy as Close Combat, which you still kind of want to run, but you had before Brave Bird. And there were, like, so many opportunities where you just wanted to go for something like a Fly that does a lot of damage, but it doesn't debuff yourself. And now you have this one, and this Pokemon is like looking like so much fun, so I kind of loved, like, I can't wait to try this Pokemon out. His Wing Attack, his Gust, has I think even Quick Attack, but a Wing Attack is what you usually want to run on this Pokemon. Looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to try it out myself. It's a little bit biased there, most likely more in the good tier, but it's kind of fun. Kind of fun is also the pre-evolution, which you can actually get up to like 1460 CP or something. Having access to Quick Attack, Brave Bird as well as Fly now is kind of interesting, but the pre-evolution is definitely trash. Also, upgrade that is a little bit trash is going to be the Aerial Ace on the Alolan Sandslash. Honestly, like, who's going to run this? I don't think it's going to be anywhere to be seen. Yes, it's going to help you against the fighting type Pokemon, but you're still going to have a double weakness. You're still not having stab on it. It still does basically no damage. So you're most likely going to still stick with Ice Punch, which is going to give you coverage against Gligar and a lot of other Pokemon. So I don't think this is anything that's going to be really viable here. Next one going to be some Trailblaze users coming up. We're going to have, honestly, like, they're all just trash. Like, Dolph might still have some fun play here because his Pokemon is a little bit more bulk than the evolution, which is kind of funny, but honestly, it's not really great. The small boy here, the Smoliv, is not really that great. Maybe for Little Cup, but I'm not too sure about it, but who cares about it? This is apparently an upgrade, and I think also, like, I think Nimble actually didn't have the move yet, but Low Kicks definitely had the move Trailblaze already, but they still sell it as if it would be a new one. For Greedent, it is a better move. Like, Greedent is awkward. Greedent kind of really wants to have 3 charge moves. It wants to have both, like basically already the Crunch as well as the Body Slam, but you also now have Trailblaze, which would be really cool for this Pokemon as well. So what do you really get rid of? If you get rid of Crunch, you're gonna get walled by Giratina in the Ultra League, which is kinda awkward. If you get rid of Body Slam, you lose your best stab charge move. So it's a little bit of an interesting one. It's more, I don't know, like I would say it's a good upgrade. It definitely still wins some more matchups with it, but it depends on the meta you're playing in, I feel like. So will be an interesting one there. I love the upgrade here for Oranguru, because Oranguru was before having only Future Sight and Psychic basically as your secondary charge moves that he could run. Now you have some coverage, you already have Confusion, and buffing Confusion in terms of the damage output looks like a great idea, so definitely looks like a solid one. Now we're going to have some ones that are a little bit trash, but here's the thing as well. You're going to have something like the Cacturne and Cacnea, but you also have like those Persian, you're going to have this one, they're all kind of trash right now, but they all learn Sucker Punch, as well as like, for example, Limber and whatever. I feel like maybe Sucker Punch was already in the debate prior. I already made a video about this yesterday as well, of like one of the moves that I want to see buffed. But I'm fairly certain they're going to most likely give out a Sucker Punch buff for the upcoming season afterwards. So maybe just prepare those, like just keep them around, because I feel like they might be better in the future when Sucker Punch get buffed. Right now they're garbage, so we don't even have to take a look at it. Also for Ariados, I don't even see it as a side grade, because basically the main trait of Trailblaze is that it's going to buff your attack, and Ariados doesn't really need this with Poison Sting. Poison Sting doesn't do damage, and you already have Lunge, you already have Cross Poison, you already have Mega Horn. All of those moves going to be way better for you, so I don't think you're ever going to see it. Side grade going to be it for Raichu, and an upgrade going to be it for the Alolan Raichu over Grass Knot, because it's going to buff your Volt Switch. I feel like, I guess I would just gonna put like a Lone Raichu into decent as well. Normal Raichu, you already have Skull Bash, which I like a little bit more to be fair, but it's my own. Maybe it's better, maybe it's better. Honestly, I'm just gonna put it into fun, because like side grade would be a little bit interesting here. But otherwise, we're going to have next up Dedenne. Dedenne going to be into Depends, because I don't, like, currently it's trash. Like, it's got Parabolic Charge. Parabolic Charge is trash. But they're clearly having something in mind that they're going to put into the game eventually, maybe in the start of the new year or something, where certain moves most likely going to be able to generate health again, which I guess Parabolic Charge is going to be able to do, because I think right now it's like 25 damage or something for 55 energy, some random stuff like this, like completely garbage. I think it's 45 damage or whatever, like completely garbage, but as soon as it would be able to generate health with that, it might be decent, so who knows? Who knows? Next up, we're going to have only 4 more left until we are done. Going to be only ICU Pokemon left here. We're going to have the Frigibax and the Arctibax, which are both kind of side grades. Like Frigibax is kind of not really that playable anyway. But you already have Avalanche, and Avalanche is kind of decent already. Same goes for the normal Avalugg. But the Hisuian Avalugg, I looked at some calculations for it. This thing is also a great upgrade in general. This Pokemon going to have a lot of fun with this new move. And so this is my tier list for the upcoming season. I think this is kind of accurate, at least from what I can see here. A lot of decent Pokemon that you can look forward to. There's going to be a little bit more in-depth stuff coming up as well. There are also a lot of hidden Pokemon that you don't see right now, because they have like better matchups now, or just in general like moves like Scald or Bubble or whatever that are definitely better this time around as well. So definitely stay tuned for those videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a like if you enjoyed this tier list, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.